Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Very fun video for you guys today. If you like a good makeup deal, you are going to love this video. I recently made a trip into my Marshalls for some shoes for my kids, and I came home with a whole lot of really great makeup. I happened to time things just right. They had just recently gotten what I'm assuming is a new shipment of makeup in because everything looked very clean. Nothing seemed to have been tampered with. That can be kind of rare if you're shopping in the makeup section at a Marshalls or a TJ Maxx. But I found some absolute high-end gems. I have a foundation, a Sephora brand foundation that I cannot wait to dip into with you guys. Wait till you guys see the highlighter that I found. It's one that I've actually kind of been eyeing for a while, and a bronzer, another one that's been on my wish list for a while, that I found for 75% off, and a very surprising eyeshadow palette from a brand that I have never tried out before. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is the makeup look that I created using these great stills, and I hope that you guys are excited to see what I found. Welcome to any of you that are new. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed before you leave. With all of that out of the way, let's get right into the makeup. Alright guys, let's jump right in. So we're going to start off with foundation. I did actually end up picking up 2 foundations from Marshalls. I almost got 3. They had a Bobbi Brown one that I was kind of interested in picking up, but I just couldn't go that far. That's too many foundations for me to try. So the 2 that I ended up with are this one right here, the Perricone MD No Makeup Foundation. Normally retails for $60. I got it for a whopping $10.99. And then I also got the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. This one normally retails for $40, and I paid $12.99 for this one. So I have actually already used the Perricone MD foundation on my own. Today I really want to try and use the Beauty Blender foundation. This foundation, as you guys might know, has been out for a while. I've actually never really been interested in this foundation, but when you find something for 60-75% off, your interest level tends to rise, I find. This is a full coverage foundation. It is also a satin or velvet finish. Both of those things are things I'm not always in love with, so this might be a little bit interesting, but here it is right here. I did end up going with the shade 2.30W. They actually did have quite a few shades available in store. It was very tricky to pick out which one. Kind of had to go online and just guess based on what I looked at online and swatches that I saw online. So we're just going to cross our fingers that this works for me. Here it is right here. Here is the package. I think it is a really cool, interesting, maybe weird package. So I do want to apply this with a sponge. I mean, how can you not apply this foundation with a sponge? But I did already apply some primer. I used my Smashbox Primerizer all over my face, and then I added a little bit of my Flower Beauty Celestial Skin Elixir oil just to the perimeter of my face. I know this is going to be a full coverage foundation, velvet finish, and both of those things make me think that I'm going to need some extra hydration. So if I remember right, you're supposed to kind of pump this just directly onto the back of the packaging itself. Okay, so looks like 1 pump is not a whole lot of product, so that's about 3 pumps right there. Let's start there and see how far that gets us. Okay, it looks like this shade match might be perfect for me, assuming it doesn't oxidize or darken up too much on me. That looks pretty good. How many of you guys have tried this foundation? I know it's been out for probably almost 2 years now. If I remember right, I think there was a time that this was one of Tati's favorite foundations. So I'm gonna go with 2 more pumps. 1 pump just does not give you a lot of product. You do need a couple of pumps. And there is 1 full ounce of product inside here. Why am I out of breath? I must be nervous. Nervous about this foundation. So shade match looks spot on. So thankful. I was going back and forth between this shade and a shade that was, I think, a hair darker than this one. I'm very glad I didn't go with that one because that would have been much too dark for me. So that looks about right there. I would say this is solid medium coverage. It does say you can build it up to full coverage. I'm not sure that I want to do that today though, because I generally don't like heavy full coverage foundations. I like a solid medium coverage on my skin. So I think this is going to be just right for now. So far what I am seeing, it definitely does feel very satin-like or velvet finish, but it's not drying in any way, which I'm very happy about that. I don't like matte foundations. And I was worried that this one would be a little bit too matte for my liking, but so far it looks really just very natural on my skin. Of course, I'll let you guys know how it wears throughout the day. I'm going to be wearing this foundation all day long today. I won't be home till late tonight, so I won't be able to do a check-in, but I will leave an update in the description box down below letting you guys know how it wore throughout the day. But so far, I think it looks really nice. I do need to add a little bit of concealer. I don't have a concealer from Marshalls. We're just going to go in today with my Milani Conceal and Perfect concealers. Actually, before I do that, I do want to apply just a little bit of eyeshadow primer. I'm going to take a little bit of this Marc Jacobs Undercover Eyeshadow Primer. This is another product I bought at Marshalls over a year ago. I've had this one for a while, but thought I'd pull it out in today's video since we're kind of doing a Marshalls theme. Now I'm going to add my concealer. I'm going to start off with this shade right here. This is the shade 115. I like to put just a dot of this on my under eye area, and then I use this one on my eyelids. I don't always apply concealer to my eyelids, probably about half the time. But when I'm trying out a new palette, I do like to do that because it does cancel everything out so I can really see how the shadows perform, what their colors are like. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this shade, the shade 130. And this is a good shade for the rest of my face, for the perimeter. Add a little bit more on my under eye area, and then just any other areas that I need a little bit more coverage. Alright, so that's good for concealer. I do want to add just a touch of powder. Today I'm going to use my RC No Color powder. I haven't used this for a while. It is one of my favorite powders, but most of the time if I'm going to use a powder, I just reach for my Rimmel Stay Matte that I keep either on top of my desk or in my top drawer. But I do really love this powder. Packaging of this one is just a little bit more tricky to work with. I feel like I'm opening a jar of cinnamon every time I put this on my face. I'll most definitely be using a setting spray just to kind of bring some of that hydration back to my face. I feel like it's looking a little bit dry right now. I mean, I use the tiniest amount of this powder. I have a hard time believing that the powder would have made me this dry. Perhaps it is the foundation. I also feel like that concealer was a little bit light on me, which makes me look a little bit dry and scary. Let's just move on with the rest of the makeup. So let's go into the rest of the face first, and then we will go into the eyes. So first off, another fantastic find from Marshall's was the NARS Laguna bronzer. This is the actual NARS Laguna bronzer. I actually bought another bronzer from Marshall's. I want to say that was about 1.5 years ago. I thought it was the original NARS Laguna, but it was actually the NARS Laguna Sun Wash Diffusing Bronzer, which apparently is a different thing. So I did a video with that product, raving about the fact that I found NARS Laguna at Marshall's for $12, and then a few of you set me straight and let me know that it wasn't the actual NARS Laguna bronzer. Well, this one is, so I'm very excited to give it a try. I've never tried the official NARS Laguna bronzer. Here is a quick look at it. I know a lot of you guys have probably tried this one out. Very late to the party on this one, but I cannot wait to give it a go today. So I'm going to take my Rephr bronzing brush, the number 22 brush. Not quite sure how pigmented this one's going to be, so we're going to start building up slowly. When I did do that video where I featured the NARS Sun Washed Diffusing Bronzer, which by the way I want to show you guys how those two compare. Here's the Sun Washed Diffusing Bronzer. I feel like they look the same. This will be interesting. I believe NARS Laguna has some shimmer in it though. This one is a matte bronzer. But in that video, a lot of you recommended that I try the original because it is one of your favorites. So we shall see. I'm definitely in some need of bronzer today. I feel like I look extra pale. I think that concealer was just a little bit too light for me. I'm gonna run a little bit across the bridge of my nose, more on the side. And then a little bit kind of down the sides of my neck. Really pretty warm mid-tone bronzer. I would imagine if you have the fairest of fair skin, this might be a little warm, a little deep for you, but anyone with light to medium skin, I feel like this would be a really nice bronzer shade for. No wonder so many people love it. All right, that looks great. Let's move into highlighter. Of all the products I picked out, this is the one I think I am the most excited about. I was so excited to see this in my Marshalls in a brand new looking little box. It is the MAC Double Gleam Highlighter. I've heard people rave about this highlighter before. I don't know exactly who I heard raving about it. It was possibly Jessica Braun, maybe Arna Elaine. There's probably quite a few people that have raved about this highlighter. It looks so pretty, you guys. Look at that sheen. And by the way, I found this one on sale for $16.99. The full price of this highlighter is $36, so that is a pretty good savings. Which reminds me, I don't think I mentioned the NARS Laguna bronzer. I found this one also for $16.99, and normally it retails for $38, so very good savings there as well. All right, so let's dip into this with my Luxie highlighter brush. Feels very baked, very kind of dry. It actually reminds me, just based on how it feels with my finger and with my brush, it reminds me a little bit of the Revlon Skin Lights highlighter. Maybe not quite so yellowy gold, more of a true champagne. It's a little bit more of like a dry, sheer formula, but still very intense, as you can see. Ooh, that's pretty. Definitely you can get some intensity out of this one, which I'm not complaining. I do love an intense highlight. Add a little bit to my brow bone, like so. All right, I feel like that looks pretty darn good. Very happy with that. That is really, really pretty. It's a really interesting dry kind of sheer formula, but super reflective on the cheeks. I really, really like that. Yay! All right, let's move into the cheeks. So for the cheeks, I actually have a palette that we'll be also using on the eyes, and it is from the brand Kiko Milano. This is a brand that is made in Italy. For some reason, perhaps because I was mixing it up with Koki Cosmetics, I was thinking that this was a drugstore brand. I don't really know about that now. I was looking at this palette online. You can find it on the Kiko Milano website. And this palette right here, which is called their Smart Eyes and Cheek palette, retails for $17 on the Kiko website. I found it for $3.99, which is an absolute steal. It's a cute little palette. It does have a blush inside here and 4 shadows. I have not touched these shadows yet. Let's do a quick swatch of these shadows so you guys can see how they swatch on my hand. Ooh, those look really pretty. Okay, so there's the green. There's the red. There's the shell pink. Oh, that's pretty. And last but not least, the more silvery shade in the corner here. This looks like more of like a sheer kind of glitter. Really refined glitter topper. Those are all really, really pretty. I actually thought this color combination was a little bit unique or odd maybe, but I think these will actually look really pretty together. I can see this in the outer corner, this all over the lid. I think it's gonna be a really fun and beautiful combination. So we're gonna use this today. Let's start off by using the blush. I didn't swatch that for you guys. Let's do that now. Really pretty muted warm pink. All right, let's apply that blush first. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques blush brush and just apply that to the tip of the brush and then onto my cheeks. So there it is at about 2 layers. Very pretty. Let's move into the eyes. So I want to start off with the eyes first by jumping back into my NARS bronzer. We're going to start off with some of this bronzer in the transition area because this palette doesn't really have a transition shade in it, and I don't really want to use the pink today. Sometimes I will do that. I will use a blush in my transition area, but because I'm wearing camo today, I'm not sure I want to do that. So let's start off with this. I'm taking my Wayne Goss number 18 brush. Let's rub out that creasing, which I should probably mention, you guys. Not the biggest fan of the Marc Jacobs eyeshadow primer. I think I like nearly all of my drugstore primers more than I like that one. It tends to still crease on me a little bit even when I put shadows on top. But I'm not one to throw things away that don't work for me. It really takes a special kind of hatred for a product for me to justify throwing it away. Okay, so I'm just giving myself a subtle wash of color up through my crease, onto my brow bone a little bit. I take just a little bit more and run that under the lower lash line. That looks really pretty and natural. Now let's jump into the Kiko palette. I'm a little on the fence about whether or not I think this green and red will look a little bit strange together. Let's try it out today. Let's just use a tiny bit of this red. I'm going to apply that just in the lightest amount to my outer corner. So I'm going to take this little blending brush right here. This is from Nabla Cosmetics, and I'm going to just add the tiniest bit to the tip there. Just kind of add it to this outermost part of my lid and kind of outer V. Probably will top most of this with that green shade, but hopefully this will just give me a tiny bit of color and warmth peeking out from that corner. I don't want it to be too obviously red and green. Not a combination I'd normally come up with on my own, but sometimes it's not a bad thing to try something different. And it's not actually as red as it looks in the pan when you apply it to your eyes. It's more of a red toned brown. Okay, and now we're going to go into the green shade right here. So I'm going to take that back on my Wayne Goss number 18 brush. I'm not quite sure how dark this is going to show up, so I'm just going to start kind of on the outer half of the lid. Oh, that's pretty. Can you guys see that? It has this really pretty soft sheen to it. I'm going to run that about halfway in, and then we'll kind of overlap that with one of those lid shades that come in the palette. I know I'm kind of covering up that red. Most of it you probably won't be able to see, but that's okay. We can always go back and add a little bit more if we want to. This is a pretty shade of green. It's not as dark as I was thinking it would be. Do any of you guys remember the shade Sumptuous Olive from MAC? This kind of reminds me of that with just not quite as much gold. That used to be one of my very favorite shades from them. Okay, that looks really pretty and really soft. Actually, I do want to add just a little bit of that same color to my lower lash line, so I'm going to go back to that small blending brush. Take just a tiny bit on the very tip. I'm kind of starting up here in my outer V. I'm going to pull that to just slightly under that lower lash line. Okay, that looks perfect. Now I want to add a shade to the eye. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the lighter, more silvery tone right here. This one is a little bit more sheer, but I love the subtle silvery kind of gray undertone to it. I think it's going to look really nice with the green. So let's just tap that over, lapping kind of in the middle. Kind of starting on the front and overlapping in the middle. This is a pretty subtle topper. It's not super reflective, it's not super glittery, but it does give a pretty kind of more natural looking reflective quality. So if you don't like something that's like full on foil, this might be a better option for you, something like this. You guys know I do like something foiled, but sometimes something a little bit more natural looking can be a little bit more flattering. I think that looks really beautiful. All right, let's add, do I want to add a little bit more red? Let's go ahead and try it. So I'm going to dip back into this red just a tiny bit. Very lightly, I'm just going to apply that to this outer V right there. So I'm not sure that's really showing up very much. More realistically with this palette, I think it'd be better to go with either the red or the green. I do like that. I think the red was really pretty. I think it would be beautiful with this pink shimmer right here. That could be a really simple but beautiful look. As far as the red and the green paired together, a little bit more tricky to get them to both show up. I guess that depends how you use them. I don't know that that did very much. Maybe it did add just a little bit of warmth to the outer corner, but either way, I think this is a really beautiful eye look. I do want to add a little bit of liner now. Today I'm going to use a gel liner. I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics Studio Pro black gel liner, which has been discontinued sadly. I was kind of starting to fall in love with this thing. But I'm going to add a little bit of eyeliner, then I'm going to add a few coats of my Thrive Cosmetics mascara. Then I'll be back with you guys. We'll finish off with the brows and the lips, and then we will be done. Alright, so here are the finished eyes. This is a really pretty, it's very subtly green. I'm actually surprised at how much the silver, kind of that sheer sparkly silver I put in the middle, really muted out that green tone, and I kind of love it, to be honest. But I did forget to do my brows, so we're going to jump in with this right here. This is the Marc Jacobs Brow Wow Defining Brow Pencil. This I also purchased at a Marshall's over a year ago. I don't even know if Marc Jacobs actually makes this brow pencil anymore. It is really good. I have it in the shade medium brown. It's a little dark on me. I think it's a really nice formula, but full price, this thing is pretty expensive. In fact, I think when I bought it for like $8.99, which is about the price of my Ultra Slim brow pencil that I love. I definitely would not pay more than $8 for this pencil. Not because it's not good, but because I have affordable options that I think are every bit as good. Okay, that does fill in your brows really, really fast though. Let's add just a little bit of brow gel. Today, let's take my ColourPop Brow Boss Clear Brow Gel. One of my favorites and most often used brow gels. And I'm getting pretty low on this one. I need to repurchase this one here in the next month or two. I do really love it though. It gives my brows a good amount of lift and body and volume. Let's just finish off with the lips. So I don't have anything new from Marshall's for the lips, but let's go ahead and maybe pick something I haven't used for a while. All right, I have an idea. Okay, let's go in with this lip liner right here. This is from Essence. This is their 8-hour waterproof lip liner in the shade Because Duh. I'm gonna add just a little bit of this lip liner down here below. Actually bit the inside of my lip yesterday. It's really fat on the side of my lip. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic lipstick. Also, not from Marshall's. Boy, would I go nuts if I saw this lipstick at a Marshall's. Or any Charlotte Tilbury lipstick for that matter. Very pretty warm nude. Let's add just a little bit of lip gloss. Today I want to take this Peach Tea lip gloss. This is from Dominique Cosmetics. Alright, and to finish things off, I'm going to add a little bit of my ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray. Then I will put my hair down and I'll be back with some final thoughts. Oh, jeez. It's been a while since I've used this bottle. Alright, you guys, and here is the completed makeup look. Very happy with how this one turned out. Very impressed with everything that I tried so far. The foundation is a perfect match. It is going to take me some time, especially with this foundation, because I know it's a formula that I'm not super used to. But so far, it feels really nice on my skin. I don't think it feels overly drying. I will, as I mentioned several times before, let you guys know down below how this wore throughout the day, what it looked like at the end of the day, and if I had any issues with it. And I will continue to try and wear this over the next couple days, maybe using some different application techniques to see if I can gather any other thoughts on this foundation. As for everything else, I am super thrilled with the bronzer, super thrilled with with the highlighter. Those are probably the two finds that I am the most excited about, that I am certain I will continue to use again and again. Very happy to add those both to my collection. The eyeshadows, this is a pretty good little eyeshadow palette. I really love this subtle look. They blended really nicely. They all have kind of this, I would say, satin kind of natural soft finish to them. They're very user-friendly eyeshadows, the formula of these, I would say. Really good quality with the application. I will let you guys know how they were throughout the day. And overall, I think this kind of random color story created a really beautiful look. I think the blush is really pretty. I am very happy that I found it for $4. I don't know that I would say go out and buy this for the full $17. At least not based on my first impressions. I might need a little bit more time to play with this one, but overall I think it was pretty darn good. Let me know if you guys would like to see me come back and use the Paracone foundation on camera. I have used this one once, but again, with foundations I need a little bit of time to really gather my thoughts on how I like them, how they wear, and whether or not I recommend them, especially at the higher price tag that you would likely be paying for them if you were to buy them at, say, Sephora. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the things that I found at my Marshalls. Great savings today. Of all the things that I use, between the Beauty Blender foundation, the MAC highlighter, the NARS bronzer, and the Kiko eyeshadow palette, my savings on just those 4 products based on what they were originally valued at was $83. And if you include the Paracone MD foundation in that, $132 in savings. That is pretty amazing. I would say Marshalls came through for me today. While it can definitely be one of those stores that's very hit and miss when it comes to their makeup products, not just what they have, but whether or not they're in good enough condition to buy. When you do time things right, you can find some really awesome treasures in there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video today. I would love to know from you guys, how many of you guys enjoy shopping at like a Marshalls or a TJ Maxx or TK Maxx? I know there's some varying opinions on whether or not that's a good idea, but I'd love to know what special finds you guys have found there. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of this makeup that I tried out today. If you have anything to add, please leave it down in the comments below. Thank you guys again. I hope that you are doing well. One reminder, please subscribe if you haven't done that yet. But that is all I have for you guys today. I will see you all in my next video. Bye. My ears are plugged. I can't hear myself talk. Like plugged. Oh, shoot. Here, still wet.